Well, good evening, everybody. It is a perfect day for the Jimmy Palumbo Show. That's right. This, my friends, is show number 210. Now I'm spilling coffee all over the place. This is a bad start to the show here.
Oh,
is my
man.
microphone even in the right
Yeah,
spot?
you're good. You're fine. Everything's good.
Everything's fine. You don't care. You got your big show on Triller. You don't care about this. Big
Don't give a
shot over there.
shit about this stuff.
Paying you $7 a week. Good evening, everybody. It's a good one here. All fans 18 and over, come on out. Come out from the Jimmy Palumbo. It is douche day here. Show number 210, number 10. Obviously, Phil Rizzuto, Rick Cerrone, Chris Chambliss, my favorite player of all time, Celerino Sanchez. My brother just drove off the road. And you got your Eli's and your Kent Grahams. Of course, Brad Van Pelt. That was my brother's favorite player growing up.
Van Pelt.
Tackled by Fran Tarkenton. Of course, everyone's favorite, Tavon Austin. Of course.
Jesus Christ. How fucking far did you Google?
There we go. And of course, well, usually Tyson Hogan Googles in a comment page, tells me who I'm going to say.
He said Len Barnum, Ron
I can't even see any of that now.
Why not?
Oh, wait, I'm not on comments.
Oh, my God. He said,
all right.
Yeah, there you go. Len Barnum.
Scooter,
Ron.
Don't forget, 80 years old, Walt Clyde Frazier. And of course, for Chris Gucci, Lynn Dickey of the Packers, Pacheco, Rutgers guy on the Chiefs, and of course, if you're lefty, there's only one player, Jim Zorn from the Seattle Seahawks, number 10. So that's show number 210 here.
Cordell Stewart, Cooper Rush.
Yeah, there's a bunch, but I'm not gonna say Cooper Rush. He doesn't count. Come on.
Wow,
that's like tiramisu. A lot of disrespect there. Well, of course, show number 210, of course, behind the glass is a guy who's got right now 12 podcasts going that he's on. Dave Sturcio. Dave, how are we doing this morning?
It's a great day. It's a great day right now, man. And right now, as I'm wasting my time with you, I'm live on Triller TV right now as we speak.
I did that on purpose. I called Triller and I said, make sure Dave can't watch it live.
It'll be airing. So now all you Jimmy Palumbo fans out there are going to be conflicted because every Tuesday at 1:00 they will drop the episode, but it's on demand just like this. So but your 12 podcast was a little over. I'm now doing 6. So
6 podcasts,
6,
and none of them, or any of them called the Dave Sturcio Show.
No.
I'm someone with the ego the size of Texas.
First of all,
you completely go with that's the only. I think every one of them should be Dave Sturcio presents. Dave Sturcio Show.
You know what though? I've sold out. I've sold out a bit. I work for you, right? I do the podcast with you. I now work for Triller TV. I work for the Cowboys Digest over on Digest Media. Like these are all now new outlets for me to work on, expand my reach a little bit, but they're not really my show. You know what I mean? So
and the Mad Dog.
Yeah, well, that fucking show sucked.
Dave Sturcio, WFAN. But you and I could easily do the late night far better than that guy does.
No, stop it.
He stinks.
Nope. McPherson's my guy.
I don't care. He's a Cowboy fan. So reason I like him.
Oh, no.
Go watch the games. He's boring. It's so awful.
He's for the people. He's for the people. He stinks.
Look at me. I'm doing a $5 podcast. I'm bashing a guy on WFAN. That's what we do here. I'm wearing my new merch, 706. But of course, now, I do this baseball card thing, right? And I got to call it up. There's always something in the thing, but you may not find this one as crazy as I do. But this young gentleman, Dave chugs down his.
I only saw it. Tyson Hogan said the best stuff on earth. The name from the best stuff on earth.
The other one is Lou.
By the way, I'm not feeling Dave Sims yet. I don't know if it's going to take me time. The new voice of the Yankees.
Yeah, well, first of all, it took me 7 years to get used to John Stewart. I'm the worst with new and out. Bob Papa to me was the post game guy.
However, I have to give credit where credit's due.
Good. He's a pro. He
is a pro. Susan Waldman, by the way, just dug at him. He's from Seattle. I guess he worked for the Mariners prior to the Yankees. And when they had
on New York, he did New York stuff.
Well, no, what I'm saying is Susan Waldman, when they hit all those home runs on this past Saturday, she's like, she told him, she's like, oh, you got your work cut out for you today. She goes, your Mariners can't hit this many home runs in a month. And I was like,
and Susan Waldman, the haymaker.
Yeah.
So that's how
I have to say, the one thing that stood out to me on the broadcast the other day, I was listening to on the radio, heading to my buddy's birthday on Sunday afternoon, and he goes, catches the ball chest high, and I'm like, you can picture that,
right.
Catch it here, right, or he catches it cap high, like cap
right.
High. Like, so these little tiny nuances, and I'm in the industry and I love this shit. Like those little tiny things, they go a long way for me. I don't know.
Well, listen, I built my whole life talking, chattering, doing. Jay knew. There's this thing. I love announcers. I do a combination of like Marv Albert with a bunch of other people mixed in. It's morphed into that, and me as well. But yeah, there's tons of. This is Jim Gordon alongside Dick Lynch, football giants all around the air. And I'm coming left to right on your radio dial.
Yeah, well, that's a Bob Papa thing. I think it's just like Giants in their home blues with blue with red stripes on the sides with the classic NY logo. It's like, what are you talking about?
And
it's great.
Jim Gordon used to explain where they are in the press box. We are here at Giants Stadium. We're a dead center of the best. And then he would sometimes when they were at Candlestick, we are way in the corner. I'm going to have trouble. I'm going to rely on my spotters. That's like classic stuff. And then also, there's also like many announcer things. Like I've told this story on the air. It still makes me laugh. I'm doing this for my brother right now. The Giants lost 35-0 to the Rams at Giant Stadium. It was one of the most brutal. I wish they would air that game on NFL Network and to say, this is how bad it can be. But it's worse now, of course. It was 35-0. Faragama threw like 4 touchdown passes. We left early. By the time we got to our car, the game was over. My brother turns the car on and the radio comes on because we were listening to the pregame on the way in. Mm-hmm. And all he heard, as soon as we got in the car, the radio came on and Jim Gordon just said, Faragamo simply had all day to throw. My brother just shut it off. I thought, what a perfect way to sum up a 35-0. No sacks. This is all pre-LT, of course. But so I do this baseball card thing. There's a couple things in here, and I always send, whenever there's something goofy, I send it to my buddy Jack because me and him we were at the game where Fernando Tatis hit 2 grand slams in the same inning against the same pitcher, which think about that for a second, right? And the guy in front of me is like, no, McGuire did it twice. He said he did it twice. I'm like, we stop. And then they put it on the board. You just saw, Major League history. So we always go back with odd things. So this guy here, it's a 1988 card. Mr. Kevin Gross.
Oh, now, Kevin Gross.
Kevin Gross. Yeah, it rolls off the tongue there. Kevin Gross, this is what I love about guys like this. I would love to have him on the show. You know why? He started 368 games in Major League Baseball. That's a lot of starts. Think about it. Right? Yeah. His record was 142 and 158. He played on bad teams. He played on Philly, Montreal, and the Dodgers when they weren't good. Texas and Anaheim when they also weren't good. He pitched 2,500 innings. So he's a guy, he's going to give you the lifer. He pitches on Thursday, getaway day. He's going to give you innings, save the bullpen. His best year was 85. He was 15-13 with a 3.4 ERA. And 92 with the Dodgers, he was 8-13, right? Which stinks. But his ERA was 3.17. If Yankees had a guy with a 3.17 ERA,
making $1 trillion.
Starting opening day, like we don't miss Cole. You're just on bad teams. He got caught in a ball scuffling thing. He had sandpaper in his pocket.
Christ, and he still sucked.
Right. And he made the 88 All-Star team. Had to be because they had to put one guy from each team on. But the thing that made me – 2 things that happened to him. Again, this is why I do this show. Yeah, 6 2/3. I love that.
Scattering 18 hits. 18.
Okay. There's a couple of things he did. First of all, again, this is so not a trivia stat, which is he gave up Rafael Palmeiro's first home run. So right away, I'm already giggling at that, right? Like, because Who cares about that? But I do. I find that stuff.
You remember Palmero at the steroid hearing?
Oh my God!
Not do steroids. Like, shut up, ref.
Oh
shut
my
up.
God, terrible. But here's something he did, which I think if you and I were at the game, we would have been like, "Oh my God!" Okay, now he got up because he played in the National League. He got up against Fernando Valenzuela. Okay.
Oh,
and he hit a home run.
Off of Fernando Valenzuela?
Off of Fernando Valenzuela. That's cool,
That's
right?
I would call it a career right there.
Okay,
Done.
stop. I'm not done. I'm not done yet.
Uh-oh.
In the bottom half of the inning, Fernando Valenzuela got up against him, and he hit a home run. So both pitchers, come on, bro. Is that nuts?
That's pretty impressive, yeah.
That's no way that's ever happened. Two pitchers in the National League hit a home run
in
off
one
each
inning.
Other in one inning. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's the whole reason why I do this segment for that. So I sent it to my buddy Jack, and he sent me one that has nothing to do with this. But let me tell you, if you're going to laugh at this. Will Clark homered in his first major league at-bat.
Okay.
Right?
Happens.
He also homered in his first AAA at-bat.
Sure.
He also homered in his first AA at-bat.
Now we're getting somewhere.
And he also homered in his first A-ball at-bat.
Jesus Christ.
That's unbelievable.
That is pretty impressive.
So basically, every time he made the jump, he got up. All right, let's go.
It's all on adrenaline. It's adrenaline, really.
He hit him, and of course, he ended up being a really good player. But that is like, imagine being a parent. Like, my son's A-ball first time, bang, he hits a home run. A year later, maybe, who knows?
No, you know what the best part is? Like, they're in AAA, and the dad's talking to everybody around him in the crowd. He's like, yeah, it's crazy because, his first at bat in a AA and single A hit a home run. I mean, it's not like he's going to hit. And it just goes.
And then,
or
you get this guy. Yeah, a little different up here in the major league.
Yeah.
That would totally be
Here's your difference for you,
I
pal.
would totally be the guy going, yeah, like he's going to hit one now. Boom.
Yeah, boom.
Shout out to my boy Jack Layton out in L.A. Anyway, so that's it. He also threw a no-hitter. Like, he literally didn't win a game in 4 months, and he threw a no-hitter. So he's one of those guys. So that's my guy. I think that's great. Kevin Gross. Oh, I got it upside down. Kevin Gross. Good evening, everybody.
I'll try to contact his people, see if he's available for an interview.
I looked him up online. Doesn't exist. I love these guys who he's about my age, a couple years older than me. No Insta. I couldn't find him. Anyway,
the crazier part is that you did the research. You're looking.
I did the research. Well, research. I googled
somebody. I was gonna say somebody sees your Google history and they have to be blown the fuck away. They're just like, "What is this? Like, why is he looking up Kevin? Why is he looking up
Kevin Gross?" Anyway, also in bigger news, my Patreon. I figured it out. I am now up to. As I got coffee all over everything. Look at this. I got coffee on my paper.
Tragic.
I'm up to. We are not mired right now. We got two.
Well, we got last week we got one. Is there another one?
We're up to 49.
Up to 48. 48 was far.
So now, of course, we have to get to the big 50. A big shout out. Now let me see if any of my listeners here can figure this out. Her name is Katie Clark. Does that ring a bell?
Are you telling me that the GOAT of college girls basketball, Caitlin Clark, is trying to?
Not Caitlin. Close. It's close, but it's Daryl Clark's oldest daughter.
Jesus.
So if you take away the Hogans and the Clarks, I have four listeners right now. So I hope, Daryl Clark, I hope you have more kids. I hope you have something out of wedlock. I hope you get laid on a business trip and have a kid.
Holy shit.
Because then that's the only way I'm going to expand my and the Johnny box. I remembered you, bro. Gidry. Why do you yell out Gidry? Gidry was number 10. Tacky Perfect. All kinds of stuff coming up on the screen now.
Crazy viewership here.
Yes, it's crazy viewership. So we are doing better we're not mired. Hopefully we got to get to the big 50 now. Come on.
It'll happen.
Also a shout out to Stephen Diddy, Kevin Marzola, and Louis Vicinadomini. Weege. Colonia boys play softball with. And of course, I got a lot going on, and I am in desperate need of chasingmiracles.com. That's right. The stem cell patches I will be using heavy in the next 3 days. More on that later. Check these things out. Go to chasingmiracles.com. Talk to Tommy and Donna. These things work. My mother swears by them. Her friend Mary Jo Blum swears by them. They all use them.
That's her name?
Mary Jo.
Oh, I thought you said Blum.
Yeah, last name's Blum.
Mary Jo Blum.
I went to a prom with her daughter 100 years ago. Colonia's finest. Shout out to Mary Jo and some of my mother's old pals there. And Marge Egan. I always give Marge Egan a shout out.
I think there's names. I always had this discussion. They're dead names, meaning nobody will ever use them again. Because I have relatives, like aunts right now that I'm just like, I don't think I know another person of that name.
Yeah, there's articles. If you Google that, there's articles written on it. Now, my daughter's middle name is Joan, right?
Yeah.
Because my mother's middle name is Joan, and so is Natalie's other grandmother, middle name Joan. So we had to go with it. Sure. When we were in the hospital, I don't know, 8 hours after her birth, a lady came in to sweep up, one of those old ladies. She came in, she goes, Natalie Joan. Huh. She just said, Joan, huh? You don't hear that much, and walked out. I was like, yes, but
my dad's boss, his wife was named Joan. But I was like, I have an Aunt Janice, an Aunt Rita. And I'm like, would a baby ever come out now in 2025? Like, you look like a Janice. Like, no, I'm not sure.
First of all, if you have a son now, you have to name him names that are either linebacker or are going to play in the NFL. You know, Abdallah Samu. They got to be all these crazy names. So it sounds like always, whenever you're naming a kid, do it in the announcer voice. If it's a boy, do it in the announcer voice.
It's 100% what I did with Miles, bro. I was like, Miles Douglas.
Of course. You know what I mean? Plus, if he becomes an actor, Miles Douglas is a great. Get rid of the Sturcho. Just
get rid of the Sturcho. Yeah,
well, that's why I used to. When Natalie was little, I used to go, and the Academy Award goes to, and I would crumple the paper. Natalie Joan, and every time the music comes on. Now she'll probably be a rap star or something. But anyway,
yes. Keep her in that hip hop dancing bullshit. She will be.
Ooh, I don't know about that. Well, let's see. Now we're moving on to you were at opening day at Yankee Stadium. I couldn't go. I was at a booking. We're going to get to that in a minute. But Yankees were hitting bombs all over the place this weekend with the new bat, which I'm told has been around for 5 years or something. And
no, it's such a non-story at this point. Like the torpedo bat, it's just shaved differently. It's the same length, the same width, the same everything. Just looks a little different. Well, people are losing their fucking minds over it.
It's different. It doesn't go low to high. It goes
high to low. It's got a little bit of a bump in it because
and at the end of the bat, But see, now
it's very thin. It's very thin
at the end of the bat. But they're talking about getting jammed and all that. But listen, Milwaukee. First of all, okay, I know you're gonna hate me for this, but this is classic. First of all, if any Yankee fan out there, if you're
Yankees, he's gonna find reason to nitpick.
Oh yeah, well, first of all, you have to pitch. I thought the pitching was horrible.
Not when you score 20 points.
I know, but do you think they're gonna average 20? First of all,
sure.
And another thing with the Yankees, what is this? I've said the same thing with Rutgers basketball with free throw shooting. It's been 8 years. We suck at the free throw line. The Yankees defensively are so bad, dude. It's bad, and it is.
So the game ended, and we won 20-8 or 9, whatever the hell the score was. And the box score came up. I was sitting there with my dad, and he goes, "They had 5 errors." And I was like,
we don't make 5 errors in a softball game.
I was like, I don't think so. I saw one Volpe bad throw. I don't remember 5 errors. Like that is insane. And it's funny when you win a game like that.
Clear. It could have been. I think it could have been 7. The errors they make are the ones like chopper to short. Oh, or
that gobbles them up.
Yeah, 2 hopper back to the pitcher, and the one throw the guy made, it wasn't like someone just off the bag, and the first baseman has a decision like, do I hold the bag? Do I come off? Sure. That throw was like he threw it to Soto and right. And I'm saying that as a reference because he can't play the field either. And I was like, can't wait. I can't wait for Vinny from Queens to realize this. Hey, $750 million. Guy can't play right field. And by the way, right field and Shea is
yesterday, routine fly ball to the foul territory. A player that would hustle would make that play. And there's Soto jogging over, drops right in front of him. I'm like,
listen.
I freaking lose my shit. Now look, the Mets won like 10 fucking one.
Doesn't matter. But I know, listen, Soto's a great player. I'm not saying that. But however, if you play poorly defensively at Yankee Stadium in right field, good luck in any other ballpark. You know what I mean? At least like left field at Fenway, you got to deal with the walls. So there's a little geometry going on where it's but Yankee Stadium, like, and I'm only knowing that to me, whenever Stanton played right field, he did fine. Why? He only had 9 feet behind him to go back on the ball, and he had a decent arm. So, he would just kind of play in the middle there, and he could get to any ball. And he did? He caught it, and he threw it back in.
Right field is a pit of doom for opposing players because, boy, if I lost my voice about over anybody, it was me. I was 6 rows behind the right fielder. Like, Judge was in a throwing distance. So any right fielder that Milwaukee trotted out there, they knew I was there. Let's just say that. They knew I was there. And I did it. I did it so precisely. Because, look, Yankee Stadium now in 2025, if you say certain words, they might be like, hey, you, out of here. And you're like, oh. So I did it very precisely. Like the very common, your mother doesn't love you or you're adopted or some shit like that. And it hits him because the right fielder kind of gave me a little glance like, Jesus Christ. Like, this guy won't let up. We had the game in hand pretty much the entire day. And I'm like, yeah, no, I'm just going to let this guy have it. Fuck it.
One time, Artie Lang and I sat on the third base side, second row, right behind the third base coach. The guy's last name was Nixon. And Artie and I, back in the day, we had a couple of cocktails in us. I'll leave it at that. And Artie just, all you see is the name Nixon. We know who he was. Mm-hmm. Artie just started out with a couple of presidential jokes, started like that. And then Nixon's mother got involved. Now, I was laughing, but I realized, this is getting more inappropriate. And so Artie just kept on saying at one point, hey, Nixon, turn around and take your comeuppance. You know what I mean? Like, you turn around. And the crowd was like, turn around. We're like, finally, the guy Nixon, probably at the time was 50, looked like an old ball player, He turned around and acknowledged Artie. Again, this was Artie Lang, not on Mad TV. No, this was just
this is prime non-sellout Artie Lang in his element.
So he turns around, he looks back, he's like, and the whole crowd cheers. Hey, cheers. Artie stood up, tapped his cap. It was like a nice moment. I'm telling you, the minute the guy turned back around, Artie didn't. There was no hesitation. Shot him right in the back again. Hey, Nixon! We laughed so hard. The guy came down. The usher, the security guard came down. He's like, "Hey guys, He turned around.
right. He acknowledged you. Let's not be complete jerk off.
And then Artie was like, "You let him go for like another." So it was so funny. I totally appreciate that. And people say. You ever hear athletes? I don't really listen to the crowd.
No, they
trust me. With your voice 30 yards away, they hear you.
I pinpoint the lowest the other crowd gets. Like the rest of the crowd gets really low, and I'm like, here's my moment.
There you go.
Just fire it in there. Took me 3 days to recover from the hangover and my voice.
If you go on YouTube, there's some really funny YouTube videos of fans with a selfie, the girlfriend or something was recording it, of yelling out very odd questions to the guy out there and stuff. So I usually get
some guys play along because some guys if you're in right field, you'd be like, hey, Smith, like left hand ass, right hand boobs. Right? And he'll just raise without turning around.
There's a ton of those. Go on YouTube. It's really, really funny.
That's good stuff.
So, Yankees playing well, 3-0. They can't field their pitch.
Back on the hill tonight. Willie Warren.
Which is good. The NCAA tournament, I got to be honest with you. Maybe I think I was so injured by the Rutgers basketball season. Is it me or like the game stunk? I mean, there was a couple
blowouts.
More than that.
Well, the blowouts are supposed to come in the 1 versus 16, right? But like if you see a blowout in the Elite Eight, you're like, this sucks.
Yeah, it was like there was no because when you have no skin in the game, you just want to watch a decent game. All of a sudden, like teams up by 12 with 2 minutes to go. There was the announcers
are trying to find something to talk about.
Outside of Florida, who my nephew went there, my family was rooting for Florida, as was I. Picked them to win it, but Florida really, they should have lost that game, bro. They were down by 7 with 2 minutes. Put it this way, Florida did the job. That fadeaway 3 the guy hit on Florida, bro. Mm-hmm. You know what? Even if that guy ends up pumping gas the rest of his life, he can have that on his phone and go, look.
It's Christian Laettner. Christian Laettner. That's who it is.
That was if you Google Big Shot NCAA tournament, he has to be the lead show there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just wasn't into it. Rutgers guy Harper, Dylan Harper, is into the draft.
Is he officially declared?
Yeah, and everybody says he's going to the NBA draft. Surefire second round pick. I don't understand that.
Second overall pick.
Overall. Yeah. But to all my Rutgers fans, there were some posts early in the year where people were talking about how Harper and Bailey are better than Cooper Flagg. Cooper Flagg is going to enter the draft. He's going to be the number 1 pick. And on opening night, good evening, everybody. Welcome to, I forget what team stinks. He's going to be on the starting floor, and he's big. He passes, he shoots, he doesn't do anything bad.
First of all, if you're drafted first overall and you're not starting for a team, they fucked up.
Exactly right. So, but Harper, I wish him well. Bailey will probably announce there's all this. And by the way, you're going to agree with me on this. This April Fool's thing with the posts, really.
I played a couple jokes on a couple people, but
you didn't post anything. You didn't.
I didn't post anything.
Of course not.
Because you know what? It's like so. It's corny. It's corny at this point. People know. Oh, it's April 1st. That means here comes the news. I'm getting texts like, "Oh, I can't believe Micah Parsons got that deal," and I was like,
"It's like,
you know me." I'm like, "Yeah." And I run the Twitter. I'm like, "Son of a."
But the reason why it's annoying is social media. Everybody lies all year long. All you got to do is follow politics, and so
so if Donald Trump comes out with something today, it's actually true. So it's not an April Fool's joke. It's actually happening. He's like, "Hey, we're gonna do this," and you're like, "Oh shit!" They're like, "Oh, it must be April Fool's." Like, no, he's gonna do it today. By the way, I was thinking about this at the gym this morning because they have like Fox or CNN or one of the fucking stations playing in the background, which I think should be illegal because if you don't like one party, like why would you want to see that while you're working out? Right. But I got to say, maybe it's a new age of social media, but like when I was a kid, I don't know if I heard a lot about like Bill Clinton and George Bush like on the day to day. I don't think we'll ever go a day without talking about the current sitting president. Well, he doesn't have a day off. From the media, he does not have a day off.
Well, Twitter caused that, and also
I think it was Twitter. Yeah, Twitter did. All these news outlets. That's all they want to do.
Listen, CNN has to go anti-Trump. Fox is pro-Trump.
Sure. I get all the points.
They got to play that card. And
they dissect everything. It's like. It would be the second day in office. It's like, why aren't the egg prices down yet? It's like,
I know. Yeah. I mean, by the way, you really got to do this. I told you last week, you really got to watch the Twitter documentary.
I want to see it. You said it was on Fox News though.
I thought it might, you know what? I think it might be on CNN, but it's not the thing that it's just amazing how
Musk.
Yeah, but not in the way this guy did it. It's about how Twitter.
I just didn't think CNN did documentaries. That's
yeah, they do that now. This one is just what an incredible story on Twitter. How it started, a bunch of really creative guys.
One of my favorite movies is the Social Network. You know what I mean? Where it's all
a little bit like that in terms of, but they also showed, and I'm not being political here. They get, there's 4 parts. It's a 4-part documentary. They get all the way up to 2016 and 2020. But they do some rapid fire Trump tweets. Oh my God. You're like,
dude, he's out there tweeting, telling the White House right now, put that tweet out. And it's literally like a line from Liam Nielsen and Taken.
I know.
It's like, what are you doing? But I get it. You want to be the bully. That's fine. But it's like, boy, oh boy, there's a time and a place.
The thing that blew me away is that they were not prepared. They thought it was like a social experiment.
Right.
And they were not prepared for fake people. And also they were torn. They wanted it to be open and free and say whatever you want. But unfortunately, in this country, you can't, there was the N-word and murder. I'll shoot you down. And not by Trump, but all these different people. And they literally have these people that were working for Twitter going, we weren't ready for that. Like they were, and they also weren't ready from like 3,000 people on Twitter, 8,000, 100,000, 1 million in a very short period of time. They had 350 million people, and then they were having outages. And it's a good documentary.
Some of my Dallas Cowboys stuff. And I've looked at the view count, and I'm like, wait, was like, 750,000 people saw what I just said about fucking Dak Prescott. Like, what?
I know,
it blows you away. It really does.
No, it really does. Of course, I don't even twit that much. Twit, whatever you call it. That's a twatter. That's what I'm going to call it. That's going to be my social media. But well, we had a big week this week. I had a booking on Thursday. I can't really talk about it. I did. I'm going to, in quotes, a voiceover out in a place in Long Island here at Trey. Another awesome experience. It was a little bit of half voice, half other things, which I can't really talk about. But it was unbelievable. The most creative thing I've ever seen in my life. I can't believe what these creative dudes do on these sets. It's really wild. I believe it's coming out this year sometime, and it has to do with perhaps some kind of video game. I'm not sure. I am sure, but I'm not sure. And so it should be.
I'm just going to take a stab at this. You don't have to acknowledge it.
No, don't say it.
But Jimmy's going to be the voice of the third cop on Grand Theft Auto 6. Which, by the way, has been in production for the last 13 years.
I was, by the way, I was one of the voices on Need for Speed.
That's pretty cool. I played that game,
which is nuts. That was back in the day. I had to read 1,700 pages. He's in a Maserati making a left on Main Street. He's in a Maserati making a right on Main Street. He's on a Maserati. He's in a Porsche.
So you're doing direction by direction. Wow.
I was the cop, and they put this microphone that sound like this up to your voice. They want like you're the cop car saying
like you're on the radio.
The radio, and I'm in a car as he's zipping by me. So I let him, but I had to do each car, of which there were like 9 of them, and then I had to do like 100 streets.
Yeah,
Lafayette Street, Main Street.
You're complaining about that. Imagine now. I know AI has played a big role in this now. Which, by the way, I don't know if I told you, I denied that thing. I was going to go for that AI thing for that quick payday.
Oh yeah,
but I was like, you know what? What if I make it big and like somehow, some way, and then all of a sudden my voice is out there that I don't want it, that I don't want it to be. So I just said, fuck it. But what was I saying? Oh, imagine being like the commentators for like Madden. Every player. Every fucking play,
it's brutal.
Every stadium, you have the time that goes into those games. Any video game is like.
Listen, I did a voice for a video game where I had to play. It was one of the mob games, not the big one though. It was like a secondary one. I had to play the guy who gets shot. Then I had to play as if I kill. The player misses me, and I had to curse. I can't tell you how many pages. My voice, I didn't know. I was like. The lines were like, fuck you, motherfucker. And the other one was like, you asshole. It went on for hours. And the guy in the booth, he would just hit enter when he thought it was good enough. And my voice, at one point, I was like, dude, I need a break. He went, how long? I'm like, dude, I can't breathe. I can't talk. And then, of course, Sam came out with a bunch.
Wait, did you have to, by any chance, you said you got shot. Did you have to make like, I got shot noises? Like,
yeah. Oh, yeah. But, dude, you know what? See how you just did that?
Yeah.
Do that for 4 hours.
Oh, no, forget it.
Okay. So it was great. That was fun. But also on Tuesday.
There it is.
On Disney Plus.
Let's bring it.
Dave, being a producer today, he's wearing his producer hat, a rare moment at Shea. What does that hat say you're wearing?
It's a cut to live for. It's my barber, Jimmy, who beat cancer, and he's like an incredible human being, and he gave me a free hat. It's his brand. It's his silhouette. Big beard, pompadour hair. He actually just shaved his head, so I told him, I was like, you got to change your logo now. But yeah, it's for my barber.
He had cancer, so I can't bust his.
He's great. He's a great dude.
Tell him I say he's playing the cancer card. I can't mock out his head.
Every time he tells me, he's like, yeah, man, I almost died. I'm like, yeah, I mean, come on. It was just cancer. I'll bust on his balls now.
He said I almost died. You went, yeah, but can you just shave it a little more over here?
You know how many times, like, he'll be like, maybe I'm just a psychopath, but like, he's been cutting my hair since like 2014. So like, we've been in an 11-year friendship and a bond and knowing how to cut my hair. Right. But for whatever reason, every time I sit in the chair, he goes, same thing. And I say, well, and I'll go into this shtick, and it always turns out the same thing. So I said nothing. He goes, So same thing. It's like, yes, Jimmy, same thing.
Now I feel like you're growing your beard out a little bit.
Yeah, it's a little long in the front. Not so much on the sides, but a little long in the front. Going for the Triple H.
You look like a young Merlin Olsen.
Can't say I know who the fuck that is.
Well, he's only Hall of Famer. NFL. Your dad right now. Your dad is saying, "Oh, my son is a jerk off." Now, before you show these clips, let me just set it up a little bit. I'm in episode 5. Which one are you going to show first? I guess.
Well, we have the scene in the bank, and then the scene that you're talking to the mayor. First.
There's a bank robbery, and I'm one of the bank members there. And
trust me when I tell you. First of all, I watched it. I didn't watch it live. I watched it actually. The episode 5 I didn't know about until about a couple days ago, and I was waiting to see the clip. Saw the clip, and I'm like, did he really just say those teams? All right, so let me just. I'm gonna go.
Well, that's the reason why I mentioned teams that I am not a fan of.
Yeah, enjoy this clip. Episode.
I could have switched it, but I said, you know what? I'm going to let the world know my acting chops, where I could actually act like I'm. It would be like if you did a scene, you had to say, "Can't wait for the Giants to, can't wait."
Well, I tell you what, to me, the combo you use in this scene rolls off the tongue a lot easier than anything else. That's why you did it. Oh, that's why I did it. All right, here it is, episode 5 from Daredevil: Born Again on Disney Plus.
All this BS just for the friggin' vault. Get out of here. They're not going to find any cash in there. It's just a bunch of safety deposit boxes.
How'd you know that?
My family's been banking here since I got off the boat. I got my grandmother's ring in there, some other heirlooms, and I got a 1994 Mark Messier signed puck. It's probably the most valuable item in this bank.
Rangers fan, huh?
Rangers, Jets, Mets, baby, all day.
I bet it's diamonds. What else would they be after? Hey, man, I know what you did was...
So that's Rangers, Jets, Mets. I'm like, what the fuck is he talking about?
Which just makes no sense. Usually Ranger... Anyway, first of all, the girl in the scene there was a young Annie Haig, who was a sweetheart. I had to sit with her for 10 hours. Not bad company there. She thinks I'm MVP because I drove her on the way home to get home. To Ramsey, I had to go on the FDR drive, and she lives on the Upper East Side. And here I am thinking I'm going to get a cheap base hit, but no, she was a sweetheart. I dropped her. I know I saved her like $100 in Uber fees every day, but it didn't matter. It literally took me off the road for 5 seconds. But she was a sweetheart. She was part of the plot as well, which was fun. It was cool. The thing is, though, this is how you know you're a fat fuck. I had to be, first of all, it was a real bank, and I had to be on the floor. Kneeling, different, like, as they have you down here, and you have to have your hands above your head, leaning over. And it's a 12-hour day, but like your knees are on the heavy, like concrete floor. Also, I'm like, then he goes, "All right, everybody up, you can go to lunch." And me trying to get up after sitting on my knees for an hour and a half.
I'm paid to see that.
I did. Oh my, that should have been a documentary called Jimmy. I mean, there's so many documentaries. Jimmy puts on his ski boots. Jimmy has to get up from the concrete floor. I was like, and then people can sit. Can you sit like they used to call it, I guess, Indian style. Now they call it crisscross applesauce, whatever they call it.
Yeah,
can you sit like that?
I used to be like right now. Nobody knows how I'm sitting, but like I'm sitting on like one leg, like a crisscross, like underneath. That's a comfort for me. But like, no, I don't decide.
I was like, hey, I need a wall. I need a. It's like, oh my God.
Can someone get Jimmy a wall, please?
Oh my God. I was like, it was like a cold floor too, and they don't care.
Listen to you. The trials and tribulations of Jimmy Palumbo.
I know. So, but that's why I call myself a fat fuck. I was embarrassed and then when you had one time I was over on the side with my elbow because I was just trying to relax while they were doing a break. And then I had to get up and I rolled over. I looked like a beach. I thought one of the girls was going to throw water on me with a 1-800 number below me saying, "Help save this whale."
With Sarah McLachlan in the background, like, for just 90 cents a month. YouTube.
It was horrible.
Jimmy.
But it was fun. It was fun to do. We had we shot it in downtown by Wall Street down there. And I ended up, the way it worked out, I got lucky. Really lucky on this one.
It's an active bank?
No, it was one of those old, like, 1940s
like, how do you shut down a bank for a day for a shoot?
No. It was probably like a Chase Bank or something like that. No, it was probably one of those, like, New York National banks. You know what I mean? It was like the big it's the kind of bank that they don't use anymore for that. But I'm told a lot of things are shot there, and these prep guys go in and they change, but but there's a scene in there, if anybody watches, where this kind of this guy with like long scraggly hair, he's got to get his head banged on the concrete bank teller area, and it's all rehearsed, grab you, blah blah blah, and he like puts his hands out but dude, I was right there watching this, and they rehearsed it like not enough. And dude, and the other actors getting amped up, and dude, this guy missed getting his head blown. He'd be dead. It was like it went like this, and then of course they add the sound effects and everything.
Sure.
But when they got done, the guy gets up, and I was like, in my head, I knew I was off camera, so it was like I'd act. I was like, ooh, that was the guy gets up. Now, these are professional stunt guys, okay? He looks back at the actor and he goes, "Hey, bro." that was his way of saying, like, my career was over. So I started talking to some of the stunt guys because they had to do these crazy stunts diving all over. And he said, yeah, part of it is that we have good health benefits in the stunt union, whatever, because I was like, how often are you Giancarlo Stanton? He goes, oh, if I work on a long movie and I'm doing like a lot of action scenes, I definitely I'm out one day for sure. I'm like, that's unbelievable.
That's so funny.
So a lot of it's fake, but it's like wrestling, I guess. It's fake, but you still got to fall down. You know what I mean? And they rehearse falling down. I'm thinking to myself, I know one thing in life I never want to do. I never want to be a stuntman. And you ever hear these actors like, oh, I'm Tom Cruise. I did my own stunts. I'm going to be the opposite. I'm not getting out of my trailer until that whole scene is shot. I'm not diving off planes.
Hey, who also did his own stunts? Dave Sturcio in the beer league thing. It'll never see the light of day.
Well, yes, it will. We're going to be shooting it.
Let's get to the next scene here. You are you're confronting the mayor,
which is D'Onofrio.
You do a little walking here, so it's also good to see you walk a little bit, waddling in there. Honestly. If I never saw this scene before, and then I saw you, like you played yourself here in this scene, like this is Jimmy Palumbo.
I'm getting good reviews on this stuff, so I don't feel so bad about it.
No, it's not a bad thing. Like I said, I said it in the text. I said you were aces in this. It was so funny. So here we go. He's talking to the mayor about some bad news about the mural on the wall.
Mr. Mayor, it's urgent. This is John Santini from sanitation.
Call me Johnny. Hey, it's a pleasure to meet you, Mr. Mayor. I work at the sanitation, 35 years.
Happy to have you, Johnny.
Just want to let you know, I voted for you. I can't tell you what a pleasure it is to actually be here.
Mr. Santini, if you would tell the mayor why you're here today?
Oh, right. The mural. I got bad news and worse news, Mr. Mayor.
I thought that we took care of this.
Turns out it's going to be a lot tougher to get that down than we thought.
Why is that?
Well, look, I made a real good run at that wall. I got the biggest power washer because I didn't want to ruin the facade. Didn't do squat. So I made a switch. I switched to a 50-50 sandglass, like a concentration. It's the only way to go.
You should get to the point.
Well, no, you don't understand. See, the mural, it's made with this epoxy, so I had to do a chemical analysis. So then I had to get this special solvent
Johnny,
from my guy
just
in Philly.
Tell him what you told me. The worst news.
Oh, right. It's blood. The mural, it's made out of human blood.
That was the best part. It's like, tell him, it's blood. I don't think it's fucking made of blood.
And that, by the way, that's like a plot point for the show. I haven't seen the other shows, but that's like a major thing that, first of all, there's like 100 websites dedicated to Marvel Universe. First of all, I look like Andy Reid on the Eagles there with that jacket.
I'm telling you, man, you talked, there was no, I felt like there was no acting involved there.
My favorite part of that, I didn't get an analysis from my guy in Philly.
Yeah, right.
But the funny thing is, during that scene is when we were, I was getting ready and I will run a 5K. That's another announcement. I will run the 5K this year. I will do that. But that was when, remember, on the last year before I injured my ankle, I started talking about it with the other actress, the African American lady, and D'Onofrio, and he heard me, and
the African American lady,
well,
motherfucker. You could say the black girl,
the black girl. All right. Well, I'm trying to be halfway.
2025, man. Nobody's gonna be like, oh, I can't believe it.
Well, it's 2025. Yeah, new president.
Yeah,
anyway,
you know what? Yeah, you got a point. I'm the one that's gonna get canceled over that. By the way.
And Triller wants to talk it over. I mean,
oh man,
then you start to hit the first
that was
three.
quick.
But no, so I was talking to the crew guys about it, and that's when D'Onofrio leaned over and goes, he's like, will there be an ambulance at the finish line for you? And I was like, he was listening the whole time. I was like, because everybody says he's a little hard to work with, but I was like busting chops. And they let me do a take, which they use some of it. The way they cut stuff is so cool. But I was able to do my own take, just talk. I went on for like, I had never. TV, you get a script, those are your lines, say them, and you're out. Mm-hmm. And they let me play, which was awesome. And I was there. The reason why I think I was relaxed, I was there for 11 days. So I got to know everybody. That's why, like, when you're a guest star,
it's a long time for 2 fucking scenes, dude.
Well, yeah, but
3 scenes, really.
Well, you remember I was in the background.
Oh, true. Okay, you're right.
And as a matter of fact, I felt bad because I was like sitting with extras or
Here we go.
Extras.
Here we go. They're extras. They're extras. Yesterday, you know what? Yesterday I found out you're not allowed to call it the master bedroom anymore.
Yes, primary.
Oh Christ, dude! I don't give it like because my wife's in the industry, so she's always just like, I was like, oh yeah, it's like the master. She's like, you don't say master anymore. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's the master bedroom. And she's like,
I got caught doing that once. I didn't even realize it.
The
person was saying primary, and I said, yeah, the master. Like I was.
Yeah, no, they're just like, oh, you crazy son of a bitch. What's wrong with you?
Because it means like slavery or something.
I guess, yeah. I can understand why, like the terminology.
I can't. It's just the name of it.
Yeah, like exactly. It's just a figure of fucking speech.
But I was there for a long time. You get to know everybody, and that makes you totally more relaxed. You know, when you're a guest star, co-star, you're there one day. You got to come in. It's literally like, hey, Jimmy, come on in and kick a 65-yarder in the rain to win it. Okay, I got it. Like, and when you're more relaxed, but it was cool to do. And hopefully, some people involved, not with the creative, they're like, Marvel Universe, like, I don't know, I guess Spider-Man's part of Marvel.
Yeah.
They say, I know there is a Spider-Man coming out soon, but some people say, hey, Jimmy, what they like to do, like it's possible that I could be popped into another show or movie, and it creates it within that small, big community. They're like, was that the guy on Daredevil? That's the guy. They do stuff like that all the time.
I've always, and I never will have the time to do this, maybe one day when I retire, but like, I've always wanted to watch all the Marvel movies in the order you're supposed to watch.
I have the list.
There's a list. You're supposed to watch them in order, blah, 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 blah. Right. And I'm like, man, I'll do that one day. I never got around to it. But yeah, you're dead on. Like they actually, like there's been things where I looked at from one movie to another and I'm like, wait a minute. You know what I mean? Like, and you can.
Well, they tease a lot of stuff. Yeah. And in this episode, they tease a lot of stuff as well, which I don't know what they're teasing about. But it was fun as hell. First of all, now... This is where the Knicks want to talk it over. My IMDb ranking, right, was around 60,000. Right.
I don't know what this means, so you have to
elaborate. It's a star meter.
Okay.
It really has to do.
If you're important or not, is that what it's basically saying?
Yes. But the problem is number one is not Tom Cruise or what's her name? Barbie. Mm-hmm. But like they say, the top 20 are all chicks because guys are like, oh, that chick's hot. Let me Google her. But I've been at like 60,000 for a long time. I now am at 9,000. I'm now like my agency. I'm their third highest client. And a couple more views. I'm feeling.
Listen, man. Now I know we just played that. I know we just played that on the show, and obviously it'll reach the 6 people that watch it. But as far as like, are you allowed to post that? Like, can I make that?
Well, it's on television.
It is on television, so like I don't know.
And listen, I'm only promoting the show, I guess, and we didn't show any. I didn't show any plot points or anything like that.
No,
if you're behind. I'm
good. The mural's blood, like
right. That's it.
That's really it.
But
we can turn it into some shit. So
there was another scene I could have clipped of me washing down the wall, which
that's what I saw. I saw. Listen, when I tell you, I watched that high as a kite at like 2 a.m, and I'm like, oh, it's Jimmy, look, it's Jimmy. Like I was fucking beaming.
Well, the reason why the creative team got a kick out of me was, by the way, that escalator, what do you call it? That thing I was up. What do you call those things?
The lift, like a lift.
The lift, escalator. The lift. This was a big one. I was way up there, bro. And you know what? I don't care what anybody says. I know those lifts. No, those things aren't like, it's like you're up there like
the wind blows and you're like,
yeah, kid from Notre Dame got killed on the first day of practice. 40 gust of wind fell over, he's dead. And I'm up there, but there was another building to the right. And there was some chick came out and had like a cigarette outside her window. And I think I told you this before, but she was just hanging out. But she was only, even though she looked at me like, oh, I'm not used to having people up this high because I'm on the 5th floor. And I forgot I was mic'd, which, God, I could have fumbled this.
Oh, boy.
I was like, hey, how you doing? What's going on? She's like, hey, man. Like, she was not even like, you would think she would be like, hey, what is she was just like,
you cleaning the windows? What are you doing over here?
Like, hey, what's going on? I was like, oh, how you doing? She's like, I'm just chilling, having a cigarette. Like, I realized she was totally not realizing there's a man in a lift. And then we started chatting. I was like, wait, why don't you come on down? I'll see you. I was like flirting with her a little bit.
Oh, my God.
And all of a sudden, I'm forgetting I'm mic'd all over the place. All of a sudden, I hear the little speaker on the lift. And the guy's like, Jimmy, this is so fun. I'm like, oh, man, thank God I didn't say anything inappropriate, you know. I asked her to come down. She never came down. Because, you know, he was like a 9, and there I am. I look like Boo Powell up there. But anyway, it was fun to do.
Sam Grasso chiming in. Dave, did Vince McMahon buy TNA? Sam, do you know what today's date is by any chance? So just do the math. Thanks. That'll be my response to that. So
yes, you got to watch out for the April Fool stuff. Also, you're not watching any of the Yellowstone. You're not in that space yet, are you?
No, I finished Landman.
Great.
I finished. Yeah, it was great. I watched Adolescence. Oh man, like
you did watch it, right?
You know what it is? The entire, and I'm not spoiling this for anybody. Like the entire time, maybe like there's only 4, so it's like in episode 2.5 to 3, I'm starting to be like, okay, they have to reveal some new. I agree. New.
Yeah, it was slow to.
But it never happened, and you're like, wait, what? The end scene, it ruined me. I was like, I told my wife, I was like, can we wake up the kids real quick?
I don't even know how you could even walk into Miles' bedroom.
No.
Talk about acting. How did that guy just light it up?
Dude,
oh my God.
The scene at the fucking Home Depot, or whatever you call that over there, with the kids with the bike. I'm like, bro, that's me. That's me. That's literally me.
How about when they hear the speakerphone and they hear what the little kid's saying? And that silence, and then when he gets into the bedroom, his little boy's bedroom, and
broke me, bro.
Oh my God!
Me. I was like, you said, if this is ever on like cable television, I'm breezing right over it.
Oh, for sure. I'm a big, I love what I call a powerful ending, like the movie Honora has a very powerful ending in its own way. I mean, people say it didn't deserve it. I thought it was a very good film. Whether or not it deserves it, I don't know. But Academy Award. But the ending of that film is very powerful, and it speaks volume about the two people. And the ending of Adolescence is unbelievably powerful. I don't care if you hated the whole thing.
There was plenty of scenes, like you said, very cool. Like it followed everybody everywhere.
It's one take.
It's all one scene. But by the way, like shout out to that cameraman, whoever worked on that set. You're everywhere. You are literally like following.
How about the actors? You can't, if you stumble through,
and you literally like. What's cool is like you only change scenarios or scenery when somebody comes or leaves, right? So if somebody else is leaving, you can follow them.
Right,
dude.
So the director,
very well shot. Very well shot. I love the way it was shot. But like, yeah, this is the kind of show that like, there's a movie that came out when I was growing up. It's called Alpha Dog. I don't know if you ever watched it. It was a true story. Justin Timberlake's in it, but he's not like the primary guy. There's a couple other decent name actors in it. And it's a true story about a kidnapping. And at the end, like, I'm not spoiling anything. It's in the news. So like they shoot the kid, and the kid's only like 14, 15 years old.
Right.
And not only do they shoot him, they take him to the desert, they lay him down, and they spray him with like an Uzi. And you're like,
man.
and you're like, you're watching it, and I'm like, holy shit. And I'm like, that movie will come on now.
And
I'll watch it until the end, and I'll turn it off before the end.
I know. It's movies
can't watch that shit again.
I'm a sucker for. I don't like cliffhanger endings. I like a movie that's. I use the word powerful. Like Honora, again, very powerful ending. Also, the other movie, The Florida Project, which he did. The ending of that movie when the kid takes the other girl's hands and they sneak into Disney World is so powerful in many ways. And also one of my favorite movies of all time. And I'm sure you've never watched a foreign film, Dave. Would I agree to that? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
There's a movie out there. If you had to watch one foreign film, if you're not into that, I get it. A lot of people aren't. Cinema Paradiso. The ending of that movie is unbelievable. And the only way... Now, what I do with Cinema Paradiso with people like yourself, they go, I'll never watch. I said, well, you watch one for me. And if you watch it, you'll be like, dude, that movie's awesome. But the ending is so powerful in so many ways. I love that. And I thought
I'm starting to come around to subtitles. Like I used to hate that. Like if I couldn't understand you talking, I'm like, I can't fucking do this. Right. But like subtitles do help. And everybody, these guys are from adolescence. I think that was Ireland, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know where the guy.
I don't know if it's England. I felt like there was a lot, but I told Steph, I was like, isn't there so many extra words that like in that language that aren't necessary at all?
Right. It's like, hard to, you have to.
But like, all right, for instance, if you and me are walking down the hall, all right, and I'm working somewhere, and you're like, hey, where's the bathroom? Ah, it's right around the corner, right? Like in this movie, in this show, they're like, where's the bathroom? And he's like, around the corner. Oh, yeah? Yeah, don't you know? It's like, or whatever the fuck. Like there's an extra couple words, and I'm like, who the fuck talks like that?
I know. They also add like, it's right around the corner, love.
Yeah, shit like that. Like, and bro, no bullshit. When he's calling the cornflakes cornies, he's like, I eat your cornies.
Eat your I know.
I'm like, what the fuck? And now I'm telling Miles, like, eat your cornies, bro.
I know, yeah. It's great. But I know a buddy of mine watched it. He was like, I didn't buy it. I couldn't. I was like, because it's slow, but it's like I said, you watch it once. I think it's great filmmaking. Mm-hmm. The camera work does get you a little bit of a headache at certain times because it's
like I said, it was interesting. You never see
realize though, the director yells action, and when he yells cut, the episode is over. Do you realize how crazy that is? When I'm on a TV set like Daredevil,
I'm trying to think. There had to be takes, but you can't.
You know what?
Really have to fucking hit it.
There were probably multiple takes, but the takes were 52 minutes long.
Yeah, that's wild if you think about it. Yeah,
wild,
crazy.
Wild. And then how do you know? It's like a play. Really, they had to rehearse it for months. And the little kid, I think it's worth it.
Yeah, definitely go watch it. It's but like you said, like we said, as parents,
you didn't do Yellowstone yet, did you?
Nah, see, I've tried Yellowstone a couple different times, and I don't know why. Maybe I just don't have the patience. I don't know. It just feels like it's a little bit of a drag out.
I'm watching 1923.
Yeah, see, my dad's into all that. Like they watch those shows.
Did your dad watch the last week's episode?
I'm sure he did. He don't miss.
There was. I don't want to blow for anybody if you haven't caught up, but 19. First of all, there's something about Harrison Ford. It's just so weird. You know, some actors get old, and you're like, oh man, he looks like shit. Harrison Ford looks like shit, but he's got that curmudgeon. He's just great in it. You just totally buy it.
He's Denzel. He's Morgan Freeman. He's like these guys that you see, and you're like, oh yeah, that's him. He's old, but it's him.
And there's like little parts of it, get off my plane kind of deal. But he's older. But you do know when something bad happens to his family, he's got that look of like, I'm not going to solve this right now. But
it's like Eastwood.
A little bit. It's really cool to watch, and I just love. I was pissed what happened in the last week's episode, but it's a great show. I've watched them all: 1888, 1923, blah 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 blah. I love them all. If you buy it, the Landman, of course, has LeBron, Jordan, Jabbar. And Wilt on there too. You know what my brother said? I'm gonna bust my brother's chops out. He I probably shouldn't say this. I would say Frank Landman, those three all-stars, He's like, you know what though? The young girl's only in high school. He goes, I thought it was a little creepy. I don't mind Allie Larder. She's 40 years old.
She's in college.
I know, but in high school, she's still a senior, I thought, in that.
I thought
Yeah.
she's literally on spring break from college.
No, I don't think so. I think that I was in high school and the quarterback's
That's
going.
a horse of a different color.
Well,
then,
that's what I'm
because-
saying. And my brother's like, I think it's a little exploitive.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I said,
all right.
I said, well, Frank, she's not the actress isn't. She's probably 25.
That's my
He's like, I
favorite
don't
thing when 19-year-old girls play like 13 years. Like, dude, stop. It's like we all know you're old as shit. Like, stop.
Right.
That's enough of that.
Listen,
shit.
Ralph Macchio's still playing. He's 63 years old. He's still playing. Freshman in college. As a matter of fact, I'll be trying to talk to Ralph Macchio this week about something about beer league related items. Hope it goes my way.
College. She was transferring to Texas Tech. Thank you so much, Tyson. You saved the day of Creepville, USA. Thank you so much. She's a college.
Wait a minute, though. The opening scene. It's a high school football game on Friday nights.
They're watching. They're not. They're just
And
watching.
She's flirting with the high school kid. She's not younger than him.
She's talking to the guy about going to the NFL. Like, you don't talk about going to the NFL from high school. I think it's a college thing. I mean, somebody can Google it. I'm sure. Like,
you know what? You know what? My brother is much smarter than me. I'm gonna bet with my brother, but maybe Tyson Hogan and Darryl Clark are responsible for paying Dave Sturcho.
And they can.
I might have to agree with them right there.
I'm on payroll now, baby.
Payroll. Oh man. So another thing. Well, either way, as hot as those girls are, their carpets are filthy. There you go, and that means Dave with the point to OxyMagicUSA.com, OXY MagicUSA.com. I don't know if I tell people, no matter where you live or where you're from, just go to the website. There's probably a guy.
Oh yeah.
Matter of fact, I may have to call the guy in again. Pain in the ass. I spilled something on the rug. I'm going to try to do it myself, but I'll screw it up. Go to Oxymagic USA. 1 to 2 hours. It dries. It's all green. EPA. Smells like chemicals. None of that. They got 80 locate as Dave goes to the jug of nothingness. What a fat vegan you are. It's
fat vegan. It's water. I'm fat. Okay. And you're drinking your fucking coffee with your creamers.
There you go. Hey, God bless America. See that?
Mm-hmm.
But go to Oxy Magic USA, OXY MagicUSA.com. If you want to open up your own franchise, they got some financing going on. Tell them Palumbo sent you. Now, what I was going to say. I got big stuff going on tomorrow. I'm actually nervous about it. I'm joking, but my brother's going to call me a pussy right now. But I got to get surgery tomorrow on my mouth. I got some issues with a couple of teeth. I had them yanked out. What's wrong?
We talked about on the text. You talk about a certain bill, right? And you're like, well, I'm not paying it. We're like, well, we're taking them back then. Back in fucking caps or something.
Well, I got implants. I gotta get so I gotta
nice.
go
What
in.
cup size, dude? What do you got going on?
I gotta go. Well, first of all, again, I feel like I'm in Game of Thrones. That they gotta take these two rods and shove them in my mouth. Okay. Twist them all the way in like I'm nailing sheetrock up, okay? And then they got to put this thing on, blah, blah, blah. And that's okay. I get it. In order to put the teeth in, you got to put the spike in, and then you screw it up. I get it. However, I got something with my sinus cavity, so they got to like build up inside something.
Are they gonna break your nose?
Not my nose, but
because I've seen that done before, like deviated septum and shit. They just fucking they yoke you up. They're like, all right, Mr. Palumbo, stay still.
Okay, well,
give you a right hook.
I would nail him with a quick jab. The Mexico City judge 150. I'm making you choke. And Sturcho is choking. It's because you drank 7 gallons of water.
Yeah, that's probably it. Yep,
went down a wrong pipe. Would you have vinegar?
Oh my God.
So I got to get that done. But the thing is, so now the guy's like, well, make sure. And I'm like, what am I doing? So when they took the teeth out, which to me, there's no different. When you get a tooth, this is for the American public. When you get teeth taken out, there's no difference between 1715 in the United States and 2025. They go in with a pair of pliers. They give you the Novocaine, okay? And they take a pair of pliers and they yank the tooth out of your mouth. That's what it is.
Jesus Christ.
And why they do that, they squeeze and the tooth shatters. So they got to shove a vacuum up in your face. And when you go to breathe, if you breathe through your mouth by accident, because it's natural, you can't, it's going the other way. You can, so you got to breathe through your nose. Now I got a little bit of deviated septum over here, so I can really only breathe really well through one nostril. So I actually panicked. I had to call a timeout during the procedure. He gave me shit.
That's why Johnny Treno never had a double, by the way.
That's right.
Deviated septum day.
Yes, and it's deviated septum day here from the Omni. I haven't said the Omni in a while. So now trust me, they also got these things in your mouth. They're pushing your tongue away. I felt like I was like I had like a ski glove in my mouth. I'm telling you right now, I didn't handle it well. The dentist doesn't bother me. So then he asked me, "Hey, do you want to get sedated?" It's like laughing gas, but through an IV. At first, I was like, "Oh, how's that gonna?" He goes, "It's not going to affect the pain you're going to be in." I said, "Oh, what do you mean?" He's like, he finally let me. He goes, "Yeah, 800 milligrams of the Advil. You got to make sure every 4 hours you hit those." I'm like, "Don't they have Oxy?" Like, I believe in Oxy. Like that. And then
we got any uppers? Can we get some uppers here?
So then I get the letter in the mail. Please, I have to check off this before I go in. By the way, you gotta have $6,000 right when you walk in the door. The letter says you have to pay as you enter the facility. Like, so the guy's getting his money right away. But I'm like, now there's like gauze and there's bleeding, and they say watch your heart rate. Because if your heart rate goes up, thank God, like there's no sporting events I care about. The Yankees don't start till Stanton gets back, and I'm worried about my heart rate going up. But I'm like, now I'm gonna be bleeding out. And so the guy's like, I got my daughter's competition this week. Like, no one's telling me, and that my face could turn black and blue. And what if I got an audition this week?
I'm fucking hilarious.
I'm gonna look like Bone Crusher Smith. Oh my God! It's like, what am I getting? What is this? And then I found out I got another filling on the other side. They got to go in there and do something there. Then they're going to add just another crown to save the tooth. All they do is like shoving a cap over it. And all of a sudden, $15,000 later, I'm a mess. Oh my God, the Knicks want to talk it over.
Yeah, not a fun situation there, man.
No,
I don't knock on wood, I've never had a tooth pulled. So,
dude, I'm telling you right now, it's Little House on the Prairie.
I think in the span of Chop Sports Media, Chris has had like 15 teeth pulled.
Oh my God, and Chris
is totally like, he always thinks about my face. I'm in a bad situation. I can't be on camera. Oh my God.
So anyway, I got to do that. I know we're running late. Now I have what is Old One Sucked?
Yeah. Dave's on Daddy Daycare today.
We gotta get up. Anyway, quick shout out to the show went long. Cornholelevel.com for your cornhole experience.
Which by the way, you got my picture on opening day. The first thing I sent you, what'd I send you? A picture of somebody playing cornhole on opening day in the parking lot.
Dude, when I told my brother that cornhole at Yankee Stadium, he went, "What? We thought like." I go. He goes,
all your
old
ass heads.
And what did he say? He goes, "Well, who said that?" I said, "Dave." He goes, "The guy on your podcast?" I said, "Yeah." I'm like, "Ooh, I just cost Dave Michigan tickets at Rutgers football right now." Rutgers 7-0, Michigan 7-0.
Oh yeah, that'll be the day.
Is in downtown Dunellen.
The only thing 7 about that is the spread and/or higher.
Don't forget about Absolute Eyewear in 42 Main Street, Woodbridge. And of course, One Bite Creative. If your website sucks, give him a call. And
once again, I walked into Absolute Eyewear on Saturday,
and no Jaybird.
And no Jaybird. It was Craig holding down the fort once again.
I don't know, maybe.
I said, "Man, what?" I texted her. I was like, "Come on!" Like I texted her a picture of my kids because they came with me. I was like, "Look, you're missing out." She's like, "Oh shit." It's like,
well. One of these days, we got to get your kids. Actually, we're going to be close to you at a competition, so I'm going to get you to bring your child there for a little bit. With Natalie. Natalie's got a big competition this weekend. I wish her well. And also Pine Tar Bar and Grill, my buddy Tommy's bar and grill. He's also got a couple of health issues over there. He's got to rectify. And out now, I have a note. See if you can do this. This is so embarrassing. I have a note. It says MGR. Old One Sucked.
Manager, Old One Sucked.
Manager, Old One
Yeah, your old manager sucked. Remember you
That's
told
right.
that story.
I thought it was.
I got people. You know what's funny? I posted that clip of you saying that you had a new manager that cares and those other shit. There's random people on TikTok like, "Who was your manager? Shout him out." I was like,
well, no, I'll tell you, her name is Denise Hardigan.
Not now, the former
I don't
one.
care. It doesn't matter. Denise Hardigan. I was just on the phone with her for a half hour, and my old manager. I don't want to say their name. I realized my career, my income, my food on the table was affected because I stayed with a shitty team. So anybody that transfers out of Rutgers, I agree. Get out if the team sucks. They suck. I won't say their name. Google it if you want. You figure it out. They cut
his fat ass.
Exactly. Yes. I stayed loyal to a fault, and that's something my father would have done. And it cost me. She's actually managing. She's getting involved. I'm going to buy her a shirt that says "Getting Involved" because she's all involved. She wants to know this, that, and the other thing. She's cutting that clip. Daredevil, we're going to put it here and all that. Whatever she's doing. Anyway. I was with a very big management company, but they sucked for me, and they only suck because they got it's the talent that makes it there, not anything they're doing. There's a couple of good managers there, but not mine. He sucked, and I don't care to say that. I was not going to say anything in case I'm not going to say the name. This will come up when they're producing a TV show and I'm up for the role. That'll do it here. But anyway, I'm aggravated. All right. Anyway,
at least I was able to decipher. At least I was able to decipher your notes, Jimmy.
All right. Well, yeah, I know. You know what I was thinking? I thought manager like baseball team, the old one. I'm thinking like, what are you talking about? Joe Torre or Boone? I don't know why.
No,
I'm a jerk. Oh, lastly, 2 weeks ago, 18 tickets were sold for Avenel. And as of April 1st, we have 18 tickets sold here.
There we go.
We have 2 months, May 30th, Avenel. Where are all my Woodbridge peeps? I got to talk to my my social media guy. We got to start promoting that show.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, as many times as we post, the same fucking 40 people like the damn thing. Go buy tickets instead of liking this shit. How about that? No more liking. Nobody gives a shit about your likes. Okay, go buy a ticket.
My mother wants to go to Strawberries.
Oh,
so
man.
I want to do it on a day. Maybe bring the kid. Would you go there like on a Saturday afternoon?
It's the prime time of when I would go there. Yeah.
Okay. So I told my mother we'd go. I said maybe Dave will bring his kids. My mother would get a kick out of that. Do you ever bring your kids there? Is that like
me and Miles just went like a week and a half ago.
Right. So we got to go to
Strawberries. The girls were at a baby shower, and I was like, Miles, I'm gonna teach you what the best pizza in the world is. Come on with me.
It's Strawberries in Woodbridge. It's still Woodbridge. That's Woodbridge, right?
I guess that's Woodbridge. Yeah, it's Woodbridge. Yeah. It's almost Amboy, but it's not.
All right. Well, I'm a mess. I will try to, maybe I'll tweet. We did it last time. I took a picture of me all banged up. I'm going to be high as a kite. My mouth's going to be up my ass.
Cannot wait.
I'm concerned about Dave. I'm going in, bro.
Going in. That's it. Let's do it.
I tell you, I need to talk it over. Don't forget, JimmyPalumbo.com. Buy some merch so I can pay for my teeth. All right. We'll see.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.